be rolled out globally and help generate massive profits. However, if they see a high-end craft product with some international potential, occasionally they are willing to take the plunge. Our first entrepreneur is hoping he can persuade them to do just that. Originally from Middlesbrough, now living in Limerick, Marty Mannering has been trading in the cycle industry for over 10 years. Although he is currently the president of the Electric Bike Association, the product Marty's pitching today has its roots in a simpler era.
Gentlemen, lady, I'd like to introduce myself, Marty Mannering. I've lived 20 years in Limerick. I have a well-established bicycle specialist company. I run the business with my son, Paul. The company we have is called Nelly bikes. The Nelly bicycle, as I'm sure you're all aware, is a very historical part of Irish life. This, what you're looking at here, is the style or the condition of bicycle that comes to us on a daily basis. This is what it ends up like, and we give it back to the customer. However, although this is part of the business as one full business, this is what I'm here to talk to you about. This bike is designed by me, built in our workshop in Limerick, and is now the first official Nelly branded bicycle. What I want to do is take on Europe and maybe further afield with that brand. What I'm looking for is to give you a 10% share in our company, the whole company, and I'd like a €60,000 investment for that share. Any questions you have, I'd be delighted to do all I can to answer them.
The Dragons gather to kick the tyres of Marty's new product, the Irish Rover. His company was established through restoring models of a famous vintage bike, but it seems that bike may not be an icon for all of the Dragons.
I'm clearly too young because I've never heard of a Nelly before.
I was hoping that wouldn't happen.
Talk to me about this bike and why it's so special.
This particular bike is what they call a Pathé Racer. And there's one reason that I've produced this style of bike, to be the first bike, the one that we actually use to try and market this Nelly product, because it just stops crowds everywhere we go.
I've been a tad distracted, Marty, because were you here on Dragon's Den with an eco offer? Because, you know, it's the accent that...
You've got a fantastic memory, Gavin.
I know, but it's the accent stands out.
Yeah.
So listen, welcome back. This bike, how much does it sell for?
This bike sells for €1,000. It costs €497 to build it. That's before VAT, all of that. So it will retail at €1,200.
So is it retailing at 1,200?
It'll retail at 1,200, including VAT.
Okay.
€1,200 is a lot of money for a bicycle, even one with a vintage shape. Barry is someone who knows a bit about cycling and history.
I have a few bikes that don't look like that, but I have a lot of respect for the Nelly because I know, for example, that Michael Collins evaded the entire British Army for 3 years during the War of Independence, cycling around Dublin on a Nelly. He only got in trouble when he got in a car, right? So tell me about your business, though. Your existing business, as I understand it, is around refurbishing Nellys.
I'll just explain the overview of the company. When we first started the company 8 years ago, we started with a specialist electric bicycle company. And we've become very proficient at that. Folding bicycles is another area that Ireland hasn't really grasped. Tricycles is another area, specialist area that we deal with. So we've now got a very successful parts business. That's the main side of this. And the hit rate on our website is growing by the month from all over the world.
What are your projections, Marty, for the next 3 years?
Okay. We predict that next year we'll make 230,000 turnover. The profits will be 70,000. The following year we'll do 300,000 turnover and the profits will be double the year before. So we'll have 140,000 profit in that year. The third year is where it becomes complicated because we'll have to move to new premises and all of that. But if we do 1,000 bikes, that we'll have $250,000 profit in that year.
With those figures, Marty's business looks like delivering a healthy profit. How will it go down with fitness enthusiast Eamon Quinn?
I live in Howth in North County Dublin, and you know there's been a huge renaissance in cycling in the last number of years. Like, you know, I'd say 10 years ago you see 2 or 3 people on a Sunday. Now there's thousands of people going up the hill. It's just incredible.
I don't see them going up on that sort of a bike. I'm just wondering, you know, what is the market for this?
The market for this is the nostalgia market. There's hundreds and thousands of tweed ride clubs all over the world. And tweed rides are this sort of clobber. And you go out on a Sunday and you all get together.
Marty, I just can't get as excited or as passionate as you are about this antique nostalgia play. You know, lovely looking bike, but it's not something I think I'll spend my money on investing in. But thank you so much for showing it to us. But I'm out.
Okay, thanks, Gavin.
Sentimental isn't one of the adjectives normally associated with Gavin Duffy. But it remains to be seen if any of the others want a piece of cycling history.
The High Nelly brand, do you own that?
Yep, trademarked to me.
Now, I think the problem is taking High Nelly brand outside of Ireland is it doesn't mean anything outside of Ireland. You'd be starting from zero with it, right?
Well, I disagree because I think that the obvious market line to go down here is diaspora. And they do. They understand it fully.
We have a diaspora billionaire over here. Peter, have you ever heard of it?
I have to confess, Marty, I've never heard of a High Nelly before,
Really?
honestly. But it's been an education, of course, but
Marty, when I come into the Den, I want to invest in products or concepts that really, really, really excite me. And while I see your passion and your excitement, I'm a bit like Gavin, I don't reflect that. And for that reason, I'm out.
Lovely. Thank you, Ramona.
From my point of view, this is a sort of a heart and a head decision. I mean, my heart says, you know, I love the look of the bike. It looks fantastic. And I love what you're doing. And, you know, sometimes small is beautiful. And I just wonder, you've got a craft business here, and I think it probably just needs to stay a craft business, but I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
So just 2 dragons left in the running for Marty's bike. While Peter Casey had never heard of a High Nelly before, Barry initially seemed very enthusiastic.
Marty, my problem is lack of focus. You're in so many different things, between the electric bikes, the tricycles, the parts. You're kind of all over the place. If I buy another bike, my wife will kill me. So I'm not going to invest. I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
if I were to invest the 60,000, when do you think eventually I would get my money back?
I think if we could use your influence to get this outside of Ireland, I think that we can do year 3 and year 1, which would mean you'd have your money back within year 1.
Okay, Marty, I would like to make you an offer. You've valued your company at 600,000.
Correct.
I will make you an offer for 60K for 10% of your business. I would like 3% of your gross revenues until I get my 60,000 back. And I would like to hold on to 5% of the equity, but you can buy me back at any time during the process at the valuation that we've established today, which is 600,000.
Okay. Peter, it sounds a very fair offer to me, and I'd love to welcome you on board of High Nelly.
Excellent. Glad.
So Peter gets into the vintage bike business and Marty gets a dragon with serious overseas connections to help High Nelly on the road to success.
Bye, Marty. Best luck.
Well done, Marty. Congratulations. It was touch and go in there. Peter was the last man in.
We were looking for Peter. I've got to admit that. He was my man, really. And, you know, if true be true, I think the other dragons knew that too.
One of the things you want to do is target the diaspora all around the world. Peter's in America. He's very plugged into that. Do you think that'll be a big plus?
It is going to be the plus. We need to go outside of Ireland to make sure this High Nelly brand becomes a worldwide brand. And Peter's the man, I think, that can really help us to do that.
Well, congratulations again, Marty, and the very best of luck in bringing back the High Nelly.
Thank you.
Well done. Emma Webb got the idea for her product after seeing the rapid way young son Jack was